Have you ever found yourself just about to get into the heat of an argument and really not wanting to get into some kind of explosive fight, not wanting to push your partner or loved one away, but feeling like it's really hard to navigate this emotional and charged terrain where it's like all the things coming to the surface that haven't been talked about, and you feel like your feelings are getting hurt or you're getting frustrated, and also you're like really wanting the person you love or care for to not get frustrated and hurt and angry, and also understanding the weight of what happens after a big fight and how that can actually wear away at a relationship over time. Well, in this video, I'm going to cover 5 really important steps you can take to avoid explosive relationship arguments. And these steps will help you to learn how to de-escalate the other person that you're in an argument with or on that like cliff of the argument with. And it will also allow you to understand what you might need to regulate in the heat of a moment as well. So step number 1 is one of the best things we can ever do is validate somebody's emotions. Now, when we're validating somebody's emotions right at the heat, like right in the heat of the moment, one of the best things to do is not to say like, I see that you're really mad, or I see that you need to calm down. We don't want to say it like that. We want to specifically validate the vulnerable emotions they're having. So listen, I see that I'm hurting you right now. I see that you're upset right now. I can totally understand. And when we let somebody know, hey, I see that you're hurt. I see that you're sad. I see that you're frustrated. I get it. And we can, in step 2 here, empathize with their experience. This helps somebody go from like a 10 to a 2 very fast. Now, you might be like, how do I know this? How can I speak on behalf of all these different couples? Because I worked with couples in counseling sessions for years and years. And I would see this pattern play out time and time again, where in the heat of the moment, it wouldn't even have to be the partner validating the other partner who was maybe getting angry's emotions. I could do it and it would help everybody really calm down. And so I got really good at that. And I felt like, honestly, it was like waving a magic wand to really help somebody feel seen and heard and validated. And it would really soothe them quite quickly. And it goes a very, very long way. Now, there is one exception I want to speak to, which is our dismissive avoidance, because sometimes they don't want to feel their own emotions. If you validate too specific emotion or too much of their vulnerable emotion, they may feel a little bit shy about it. So with dismissive avoidance, you might say, I see that you're really uncomfortable right now, and I get it. I see that you're a little bit upset right now, and I understand why. So you want to sort of approach it from a more surface perspective, but if it's fearful avoidance, anxious, preoccupied, or securely attached individuals, they tend to respond best to the emotions. I see that you're hurt. I see that you're sad. I see why you'd be sad. So it's really like step 1, validate the emotion. Step 2, let them know you understand why they're upset. Now, step 3, I will say a couple other things here. If you don't know why they're upset, you can still ask for more clarification, right? So you can say, I get it. I still want to understand more why you're upset. And like, if you can explain more to me, I want to hear you out. And that can be very beneficial if you don't actually know why they're upset. But saying like, I empathize with your perspective is really important. Another sort of caveat here, just as we're pausing at step 3, is that sometimes you might be watching this video or you might be in a position where you're like, but I'm not okay with how they're acting. And I really want to be clear that we can validate people's emotions without validating their behaviors. So if somebody's raising their voice, and let's say somebody were to raise their voice at me in a counseling session with couples, right? So let's say I'm with a couple, they get mad at me and they're like, you're always taking her side. Let's just pretend that happens, right? I would say to that person, I'd be like, hey, I see that you're hurting right now. I see that you're upset, and I definitely understand why. And, I want to hear you out. I want to like talk more about this with you, but it can't be when you're raising your voice at me like that. So I need you to like sit with me, be with me, get a little more present, know that I'm here to help you out. And then we can hash this out together. So in that case, you can validate, sorry, my back is super itchy. You can validate somebody's emotions without validating like how they're acting or their behaviors. And that allows you to still have your individual established emotional domain without feeling like you get into a situation where you're making things that are not okay with you okay, but also without feeling like you are, by setting a boundary, going to escalate the argument or fight, right? And that's like the big purpose here. We're trying to keep things calm and in a good spot. So Step number 3, we just covered, and it's to like ask to explain more if needed. Step number 4, let them know that you're not the enemy. Okay, so I kind of like just modeled that out a moment ago, but you can let the person know like, hey, I'm not here like to be an enemy. I'm not here against you. I'm here for you. I'm here for us. I'm here for us to work through this together. I want us to get on the same page here. Like, I know we can talk this out together. So by really like validating that you're on their team, you're on their side, it's so sad because couples, like when they get so heated, they can love each other so much, they can care about each other so much, but in the heat of a moment, sometimes it can hurt that much more because the person that you're supposed to love and care about and vice versa feels like when they don't understand you that it's like a betrayal. Like, how could you not understand me? How could you not be on my team here? And so then we can escalate more by somebody reminding us, hey, I am here with you. We may be having a disagreement. We may be confused together right now, but I'm here for you. I'm here with you. Let's figure this out together. That connective language and that reminder can help us really let our walls down again and get back to vulnerability. And it's from a place of vulnerability that we solve arguments. So approaching it from that perspective is very valuable. And I'm going to tell you step number 5. And before I do, I want to let you know that if you want to do a much deeper dive into this methodology comes from a course that I have called How to Repair Any Relationship. And that course covers a lot about like how to de-escalate, how to work through hard things, how to have tough conversations in a meaningful and constructive way, how to get your relationship off the rocks and back into like smooth waters again, how to understand what one another needs in order to get there, and how to operate and show up and do those things in a healthy way that also considers our individual boundaries and domain. And that course you can check out for free for 7 days using the link below. And that same link to our all access pass gives you access to our whole school. So you can check out all 60 courses I've written and recorded, and they all come with like, except for a few of them, the ones without slides, they all come with workbooks or slides, notes, everything that's like there for you, very clear, very available, and all of the steps that you need to be able to write out and work through and show up for, and they can really help move the needle in relationships. So you can check that out for free for 7 days. And also you can jump on live calls with me. I do 4 of them each week. You can join in the webinars. You can ask me your questions face-to-face on camera, type, or just audio if you prefer. All options are available. And there's lots of time to be able to chat with a ton of people on there. So please come on in. And yeah. Okay. So step number 5, ask what they need to feel resolved. And I'll say 5B is once this is resolved. So once you can ask what they need, you have to take yourself into consideration, see if that's a fit for you or what is. Like if somebody says, give me all the money from your bank account, you might be like, no, but I can lend you $5 if you need it. Like, you have to figure out like what you can do that's fair to you as well. And then you can rotate that entire process and reuse that process to de-escalate yourself, like to ask for validation of your feelings, your perspectives. Ask, hey, if you were in my position, could you see how this would hurt me? Can you understand where I'm coming from? Ask for that empathy, right? And then say like, hey, I want to know that we're on the same team. Like, can you let me know? Like, you're here, you want to work this out with me. And then share what you need, ask them to understand, and then ask that person what they need as well. So this process, like through those steps, can be utilized for you to de-escalate somebody else. Or if you're working with somebody who's a little less emotionally aware, like your loved one or a partner or a family member who may not know as much about this stuff, you can guide them to those steps by communicating and leading with those steps and sharing what you need at each of those steps to feel resolved. So anyways, I hope this makes a lot of sense. Again, the How to Repair Any Relationship course goes through this and so many other things in so much detail. It helps you establish like what level of relationship it should be for it to be like optimized for like the health and wellness of that relationship. And there's a lot of really powerful processes and tools in there for you. So thank you so much for watching. Thank you for being here. If you have questions about how to repair certain situations or how to communicate around certain things, you can post them in the comments below. I can definitely use them as like information for future videos. And that is it for today. Thank you. Please subscribe if you're enjoying this channel. I'd really appreciate it. And I will see you in the next video.